One Montgomery Green is celebrating Women's History Month by highlighting trailblazers who have made a significant positive contribution to the environmental justice movement. These individuals worked tirelessly over the course of many years to protect our natural world and make many communities more sustainable. Today, we're handing out flowers. Betty Reid Soskin. She has led at least 9 different lives in her almost 100 years. A childhood journey from Detroit to New Orleans to Oakland. She was a wife, a mother, a World War II shipyard clerk, a record store owner, a civil rights activist, songwriter and performer, and legislative aide. But it is her last act as the oldest national park ranger in the United States that is her legacy. Today's highlight proves there is no age limit for enjoying the outdoors, switching careers, or speaking out against injustice. And Betty Reid Soskin is living proof. The 100-year-old California resident was the nation's oldest active national park ranger, a late-in-life vocation she embarked on just over a decade ago. Miss Soskin became a park ranger in her 80s, almost by accident. In 2000, she was working as a field representative for a California state legislator who asked her to sit in on early planning meetings for the park, which had just been authorized by Congress. At the first meeting, she blurted out that she had a love-hate relationship with the Rosie the Riveter icon, which she saw as telling a white woman's story. The 500,000 black women who worked in the home front jobs included some who worked as welders and riveters, but Miss Soskin's experience was different. During the war, she worked as a file clerk in a segregated unit of the historically all-white Boilermakers Union, which had resisted demands to allow full membership to black workers. At a later meeting, as she looked at the historical structures that would anchor the park, like the housing and childcare centers that supported the shipyard workers, Miss Soskin, the only person of color in the room, as she recalls, saw places of segregation. What part of the park would tell her story? She says, "What gets remembered depends on who is in the room doing the remembering." It's something of a mantra of Miss Soskin, who stayed in that room and at that park and kept talking. First as a community liaison, then as a seasonal tour guide, and from 2006 to 2022 as a full-time interpretive ranger. In that role, she spoke not to the experience of Rosie the Riveter, but to her own experience. "When I became a ranger," she said, "I was taking back my own history." Over the past decade and a half, she has become both the icon of the service and an unlikely celebrity, drawing overflow crowds to talks and a steady stream of media interviewers eager for the eloquent words of an indomitable 5'3" great-grandmother, once described by a colleague as sort of a Bette Davis, Angela Davis, and Yoda all rolled into one. She has been photographed by Annie Leibovitz, interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and invited to the Obama White House, where she introduced the president at the Christmas tree lighting in 2015. And as she approached her centennial birthday, she has, to put it mildly, persisted. She suffered a stroke in 2019, but resumed her ranger talks by video conference in 2021, and even narrated a commercial for the North Face clothing company that dropped in July 2021. When asked about her career as a park ranger, Soskin says that being a primary source in the sharing of that history, my history, and giving shape to a new national park has been exciting and fulfilling. She goes on to say, "It has proven to bring meaning to my final years." One Montgomery Green thanks you for your service.